Pad. We're live from inside Gaylord College here at the University of Oklahoma. I'm Abby Williams.
And I'm Britton Ross. We're ready to talk all things Sooner sports. We've got a packed show and a live studio audience.
And the OU men's and women's gymnastics squads are gearing up for the NCAA championships this weekend. We have what you need to know about the road to number one.
And OU football held the first ever Crimson Combine this weekend. We'll have a sneak peek of what the new Sooner offense will look like this fall.
And an exclusive interview with two members of your number one ranked OU men's gymnastics team later in the show.
For OU football, running back Sam Franklin entered the transfer portal today. And as for replacements, California running back Jaden Ott just committed to the Sooners today. OU announced Ott had over 2,000 yards and 24 rushing touchdowns for the Golden Bears. And the Sooners landed Jake Mila from Stanford. He was their highest graded offensive lineman per Pro Football Focus. And with the first ever Crimson Combine this weekend to replace the spring game, Sooner Sports Pad reporter Darby McCormick has details on the new offense.
To the Crimson and Cream faithful, the Crimson Combine is something really new. And as spring football changes nationwide, OU football is learning to compete. Two people that are helping them do that, John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle, who are trying to set a new standard of offense that's been lacking in Norman for recent years.
Hey, whenever we're going against the defense, we're competing. They're not our friends. You know, they're our teammates, they're our brothers. Whenever we're out there practicing, competing, they're not our friends. Okay, we're out there trying to get after it. We're trying to celebrate all little wins that we have. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Football's a hard game. Sometimes when you do something really, really good, some people just overlook it. We try to celebrate all those little small victories, okay? And the more small victories that you have, ultimately the big victories show up.
He wants us to try things, especially spring ball. Like, we're going to try the tight window throws to see if we can make them. And he's never like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's never came out of his mouth, and he just says he's push it, and especially me, like he wants me to try it and make mistakes, and he's confident in me, and I know that. You know, he doesn't really have to say it to me for me to know that. Here and there, you know, I'm still young. It helps. Yeah, he's all about confidence, and as a quarterback, you need it. If you're not confident, you'll be hesitant. If you're hesitant, it's not going to work.
But I think we just focus on our standards, and we got to get back to the standard of playing the kind of offense that's been here for a long, long time. And that is the standard. And so anything, you know, below that, you know, would be a disappointment.
We'll see if the standard they speak of shows up to play when OU football takes on Illinois State August 30th. Reporting from Owen Field, Darby McCormick, Sooner Sports Pad.
Thanks, Darby. Many fans on X were voicing their frustrations with the Crimson Combine, saying they missed the spring game. Now, last year, the official attendance was reportedly over 45,000, but the stadium was practically empty this year.
And this is something that I just don't see coming back next year. The official attendance was over 16,000, and looking at the crowd, it was maybe 5,000, if that actually showed up. The whole thing just felt like a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, now let's start things off with some men's basketball news. According to a report yesterday from CBS Sports' John Rothstein, the Sooners are reportedly hiring St. Joseph's associate head coach Justin Scott to come in as an assistant on Porter Moser's staff. The Hawks finished 22-13 and finished 5th in the Atlantic 10 Conference, but it looks like OU will be getting more than just Scott.
And with this hire, the Sooners are expected to land Scott's stepson, Xavier Brown, out of the transfer portal. He led St. Joe's in scoring last season with 17.6 points per game, and he added 5 rebounds and 4 assists per game as well.
Yeah, both additions would be great for the Sooners, and maybe this is what Porter Moser needs to get his first NCAA tournament win with the Crimson and Cream. Brown will also give the Sooners that much-needed depth. Now, both the OU men's and women's gymnastics squads will compete for a national championship this weekend. When we come back, we're flipping it over to the mat. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. OU softball took on Alabama last night in the final game of their 3-game series. The Sooners won game 1 5-1. Then it was all Crimson Tide in game 2. They won 6-1. And naturally, the series all came down to last night's rubber game. Alabama scored first with a run in the 3rd inning. And it didn't take long for the Sooners to answer. Nellie McEnroe-Marinas hit a solo home run in the 4th. Things were all tied up through the 7th, and the game went to extra innings. Now, even with pitcher Sam Landry's complete game, it wasn't enough. The Crimson Tide's Audrey Vandegrift hit a walk-off homer in the 8th to win it.
And now with 2 straight conference series losses, the Sooners need to regroup and figure out their issues quickly. Otherwise, they may not make it back to Oklahoma City, and they can kiss their dreams of a 5-peat goodbye.
And this is the first time the Sooners have lost back-to-back conference series since the start of the 3-game series format back in 2012.
And after a 4-game losing streak, the OU baseball squad turned it around this weekend against number 17 Vanderbilt. After taking Game 1 9-4, the Sooners dominated Saturday's Game 2 in front of a record crowd. OU put on a show, run-ruling the Commodores 14-0 in 7 innings behind a pitching gem from Kyson Witherspoon, a complete game shutout, only giving up 2 hits, no walks, and with 6 strikeouts in less than 100 pitches. Witherspoon was named to the SEC Co-Pitcher of the Week, and winning this series is just another step forward for the Sooners.
Kyson was really good early, and then our offense gave him a little bit of room to go out and do what he does. Offense played really good. We took our walks when we needed to take our walks and got big hits when we needed to get big hits, which really separated the game, which was huge. I think what they've done this weekend is attack the game and played with passion and not worried about the result.
Even though the Sooners have moved up to 16th in the USA Coaches Poll, they are 10th out of the 16 teams in the SEC. Right now they're playing Oklahoma State up in Stillwater. Britton, how are they doing?
Well, Abby, this is the only Bedlam matchup this season, and it's on ESPN2, so you already know it's a big-time game. And right now, the score is 6-1. The Sooners lead in the top of the 5th inning, so they're just about halfway done. We'll see if they can finish it out and pull out the win tonight.
Well, now over on the gymnastics front, nothing has really gone down since our last sports pad, but we are a lot closer to the NCAA championships happening in Fort Worth this weekend. Even though the Sooners didn't compete this week, that doesn't mean they weren't winning big, especially on the awards front.
I would say this was our best NCAA round 2 and round 3 of maybe the last 6 to 8 years. We have sometimes struggled in that area, and I really felt like our team was very relaxed and absolutely ready to go. Definitely the best finishes from them in a long time.
Junior Faith Torres was named the South Central Region Gymnast of the Year by the Women's College Gymnastics Association. She became only the 4th Sooner to ever score 39.8 or better in the all-around back at the Seattle Regional.
And with the NCAA championship semifinal on Thursday, the Sooners are gearing up to do what they've been doing all year, looking for a win. Assuming they move on and are one of the final 4 squads remaining, they will compete Saturday as well.
And the #1 ranked OU men's gymnastics team has the NCAA meets this weekend, starting with the qualifiers Friday night, followed by the NCAA finals on Saturday. It's been a great year for the Sooners. They're 17-1, with that 1 loss being to Stanford all the way back on January 18th.
But it should be exciting. We're ranked #1 going in. We've beat all the better teams in the regular season at least once, but we've probably been the most consistent team, best in execution, and in the regular season have pretty much outperformed all the other teams.
Now going into the NCAA championships this week, and it's always nice to have the confidence as the #1 seed. If they are to win the national title this year, it would be head coach Mark Williams' 10th since he arrived at OU in 2000.
Well, we'll see if they can bring the national championship back to Norman, but Stanford has won the last 5 natties going back to 2019, and we'll get to ask them about their preparation in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere, because when we come back, our Brooke Griggs has an exclusive in-studio interview with 2 members of the OU men's gymnastics team. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad, and please welcome OU men's gymnast Brigham Frenthawaite and Matthew Burgoyne. Brigham is a senior from Cheyenne, Wyoming. He earned career highs on floor, still rings, vault, and high bar all this year.
And Matthew Burgoyne is a senior from Lansdale, Pennsylvania. This season, he was named to the All-MPSF team on the rings after scoring a 14 at the conference championships. Brooke, take it away.
Thank you guys for joining us today on Sooner Sports Pad. Oklahoma is the top-ranked team to perform at the NCAA championship this weekend. How do you prepare mentally and physically for a meet at this magnitude?
You want me to start, or you want to take it?
Sure, you can go first, yeah.
I think this past season, we've been challenged at home, and we've been challenged away, and we've been put in a lot of high-pressure situations. So mentally, going into NCAAs, the job doesn't really change. We just have to go in there and do the best that we can do, have each other's backs, and focus on what we can control, and we'll be successful no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of what he said, I think we do the same thing in the gym every day, and so like going to NCAAs is just like it's another time to do exactly what we do every day, and just if not, do it a little better. And so for us, it's just another day in the gym, just go in there, get business done, and come back, hopefully with the championship.
Exactly, and talking about another day, OU is used to this stage. Y'all performed here before. Tell me, what does it look like this year for y'all compared to last year? What is changing? What are y'all looking forward to the most?
I think the team has, the goal has always stayed the same. I think this year the team has a lot more chemistry. We've had a lot more newer guys and younger people in this team, and I think just like that cohesion with everyone and just really building that brotherhood and that trust in everyone that as for instance, Matt goes up on the apparatus, like I know that he's going to give his heart and soul for our team to do the best that he can do. And even if somebody messes up, it's like, hey, I got your back and we're going to run it up. So I think that's the biggest thing with this year compared to last year of our preparedness going into NCAAs.
Yeah, I would agree.
That was good. Yeah. And then as upperclassmen, do you feel like you've taken on a leadership role?
I would say so. I definitely try to lead by example in the gym and in competitions. That way the younger guys can try to use that as a framework as they get older in this program, for sure.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is there's leading by example, of course, is one of the hallmark things to do as a senior. But really, I think also just reiterating to the younger guys that like, hey, it is really important, and this is high pressure situations. But like even when you're in those scenarios, like you have to enjoy what you're doing, because sometimes you get so caught up in your performance and the results that it's like you're not getting to live these dreams that you had ever since you were a little kid. So I think that's another thing that I really strive to lead by example and really give the younger people, and even Matt, just like anyone, just trying to make everybody enjoy the time that they have while it's short, 4 years or 5, depending on who you are. But yeah, that's what I try to do.
Well, that's a great mindset to have, and I can see the leadership in both of you. I hope you'll perform great this weekend, and thank you for joining us today on Sooner Sports Pad.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brigham, Matthew, and Brooke. I don't think I could do any of the events that you guys compete in, well, at least not properly.
Abby, there's no way either one of us can do anything that they do. But we've talked a lot of OU sports so far, but we have even more Sooner sports coming at you right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. We've highlighted a lot of OU sports so far, so let's show some love to even more. Let's start off with OU men's tennis. They took on Vanderbilt on the road in Nashville on Saturday for their final match of the season. The Sooners secured the doubles point, and even with strong efforts in the singles competition, it wasn't enough, and the Commodores won 4-3. Next up is the SEC Championship starting tomorrow in South Carolina.
And OU women's tennis finished up their regular season with a match against the Alabama Crimson Tide. The 4th-ranked Sooners lost 2 of the 3 doubles matches, but won 5 of 6 singles matches to beat the Tide 4-2. And now they'll head to the SEC Championships, but these ones are in Auburn.
And these tennis squads aren't the only ones on the move. One quarterback took quite the journey to the Sooner State recently. Sooner Sports Pad reporter Landon Thomas talked to an OU commit who's already found his home in Oklahoma.
Throughout OU football history, the Sooners have had their fair share of greats at the quarterback position, from Jason White, Sam Bradford, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, you name them. And I'm here in Mustang, Oklahoma to tell you about the next possible Sooner great.
I was able to just see myself, being like in the program.
Jaden O'Neal is a 4-star recruit that announced his commitment to the Sooners on June 24th, 2024. But a lot's changed since then, as just a month ago, he transferred from California all the way to Mustang, Oklahoma. And with that change comes some new challenges and opportunities.
I feel like, with the standard, I feel like it's kind of like up in like my game, being in the weight room. You know, guys are being hard on me. You know, Coach Duran, the strength and conditioning coach, he's being hard, making sure my form is right. You know, Coach Blankenship, you know, while we're on the field, you know, making sure I'm like understanding like the playbook and certain route concepts. So I'm glad that, you know, that the guys are helping me kind of, you know, just, you know, transition, you know, from California to here.
That's not the only change Jaden has experienced in the last year since his commitment to the Sooners, as OU let go of former offensive coordinator Seth Luttrell, who was a big reason for Jaden's commitment in the first place.
Like the old coaching staff, you know, Coach Seth, like Luttrell, like when he was out there, I feel like he kind of had like some of the same mannerisms and, you know, just kind of him being a man. It kind of just matched my dad a little bit. Just like the energy, you know, that kind of drew me to it. Like when the old coaching staff was there, just like the real and authentic, you know, behavior that the coaches was like showing me was kind of brought me and envisioned myself being in the offense with them.
Mustang football head coach Lee Blankenship agrees that while Jaden O'Neal is a special talent, he wants him to learn one thing during his time in Mustang, and it's not even about winning games.
My expectations for Jaden is to have fun and be a high school kid and just have fun playing football. My expectations are that he leaves our program and he's got some lifelong friends. He's got coaches that he knows love him no matter what. That love and respect for him is not predicated on how good of an athlete he is. It's what kind of a person that he is.
Reporting in Mustang, Oklahoma, Landon Thomas, Sooner Sports Pad.
Thanks, Landon. And to keep things in the spirit of competition, we're bringing it right here to the studio. Don't go anywhere. Face Off is next. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. It's now time for my favorite part of the show, Face Off. Britton and Brooke will debate all things Sooner sports, and our audience will decide a winner. So let's get into it. Britton, which Sooner squad is your team of the week?
Well, I'm going to go with OU baseball because they just got a series win over a ranked Vanderbilt squad, winning Friday night 9-4 and then winning the series on Saturday with a 14-0 run rule over the Commodores, scoring 14 runs on 9 hits with 9 walks and 5 hit batters. This is the Sooners' third SEC series of the season.
Up their regular season on Sunday against Alabama with a 4-2 win. This also marks the Sooners' 6th straight win. It also marks their 11th SEC win, almost triple the amount of your team's, Britton. A great way to end the regular season.
Now, I think I would have chosen one of the gymnastics squads since they're about to, you know, compete for a national championship, but I respect it. Narrowing things down now, who is your women's MVP?
Being a part of OU Women's Gymnastics means having a championship mindset. Future Sooner Mackenzie Estep is already rising above the standard. She was crowned the Region 2 champion in the all-around vault, beam, and floor, where Mackenzie also earned a perfect 10 for her vault routine. Not to mention, she already has 5 natties.
Well, I know they lost the series to Alabama, but Saturday night did have some Sooner magic in Tuscaloosa. Down 1-0 in the top of the 7th inning, and Maya Bland came in to pinch hit and proceeded to hit a 2-run home run to give the Sooners a 2-1 lead, and OU went on to win 5-1 to get their 13th comeback win of the season.
Well, now let's switch it over to the men's side of things. OU baseball had a big weekend taking the series over Vanderbilt. Is your men's MVP from Skip Squad, or are you choosing someone else?
Abby, my MVP is absolutely from Skip Squad. I mentioned it earlier. Kyson Witherspoon tossed a gem Saturday night, finishing with a 7-inning run rule shutout with just 2 hits and no walks. Witherspoon struck out 6 and has the lowest ERA in the conference, and he won SEC Co-Pitcher of the Week.
Okay, but is he bringing home the gold? OU Wrestling's John Wiley is. He dominated at the Under-23 Pan American Championships. The Oklahoma native went 4-0 in the freestyle division. Oh, and by the way, this was on a national stage. The Sooner represented Team USA, where the states swept the floor with the competition.
Wow. Well, now let's look towards the future with possible national champions on the horizon. What should Sooner fans be watching out for this week?
Well, it would be criminal for me not to pick OU Men's Gymnastics. They are our guests for tonight and do hold the #1 seed at the 2025 NCAA Championship. This is the first time the Sooners have done that since 2021. The championship takes place this Friday and Saturday as Oklahoma looks to add to their trophy case.
Great minds think alike because I'm watching out for OU Women's Gymnastics in the national championship. They'll compete with Florida, Missouri, and Alabama on Thursday, and the top 2 teams will compete for the national championship on Saturday against the top 2 from the other side of the bracket, and will finish their revenge tour out with the national championship.
Okay, great picks from everyone, but now it's time to choose a winner. You guys didn't make this easy on our audience. If you think Brooke was the winner this week, let me hear ya. All right, now if you think Britton is the winner this week. This week's face-off winner is Brooke. That's all we have from Sooner Sports Pad this week. From Brooke Griggs, Britton Ross, I'm Abby Williams. Thanks for watching. Good night.